not a rental.
Would you show it to a date?
Would I show it to a date? Nah. Probably not. Not my first choice, but I'm like, potentially. It depends what she's into. If she said, I really like Gigi, I'd be like, sure, let's go watch Gigi.
Hi, welcome to ABC's Film. This week we are watching a Best Picture winner. It's called Gigi.
That's correct.
And it's a musical.
From 1958.
That's the extent of our knowledge of it. Hopefully it's good. Traditionally speaking, musicals that won the Best Pictures back then aren't good.
See, I was thinking that actually earlier, but then we've got some good ones coming up. We've got My Fair Lady in 1964. West Side Story is 1962, maybe? So maybe this is
it's only like 2 or 3 films away.
This will be like the start of the triptych of great musical films.
It could either be the start of the good musicals or the last of the bad ones.
Yeah, oh gosh.
We don't know, so let's find out.
Let's find out.
Gigi is a film about a man called Gaston, who is a rich Parisian who is bored with everything Paris has to offer, all of the women. He's bored with the Eiffel Tower. It's just rubbish. He's bored with the Seine. And there is a woman, or a girl that he knows.
Is it pronounced Seine?
Yeah.
I thought it was Seine, but never mind.
Well, it might be Seine, I don't know.
Okay.
But
spell,
there is a girl called Gigi,
Rashid,
who is not like other women. She's not ladylike at all. She's really free-spirited. It's like that. So obviously she takes his fancy because she's not like the other women.
If I lose, what would you really like? Silk stockings?
Oh no, silk stockings make my legs itch.
To make her the sort of person that they think would impress him, they put her on like a strict training regime to make her a lady, so she can identify a good cigar and pour coffee correctly and things like that. And so they turn her into exactly what he doesn't want. And then you think he's going to be annoyed at that because there's a sequence where he's just not interested in her at all. And then he just ends up with her.
Maybe he loves her. Maybe he realised that he loves her anyway, despite... She has the trappings, but
it seems like
she's
he changes his whole idea right at the end.
But he's always like, throughout the entire film, he's kind of confused about whether or not he's in love with her. So maybe it's like, at the end he went away and then he's like, oh, but I love her anyway. So he came back, but obviously it wasn't verbalised at all. He went out to the fountain and was like, oh, I'm going back now.
Yeah.
And then,
I didn't quite like it. I didn't quite like the end.
The rest of the film...
Overall, I thought it was great.
The entire film was quite charming. There wasn't much plot to it. It was kind of light and fluffy. It was mostly about love, as romantic.
Musical numbers were great.
Yeah, it's a good film. Watch it.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
It's kind of felt like an ending point.
Yeah, we shouldn't have sort of started with the end. But I just... Because it's fresh in my head, and I'm just kind of like, why did they go that way? I mean, I thought at the very start it was completely obvious that he's looking for a girl that's not a bore, and she's not a bore. You know...
And it would be interesting if they subverted that somehow, and I guess there kind of was a subversion.
Well, where I thought it was going to be was he was going to leave her because she's become a bore. That would have been quite something.
It's a bore. Don't you marvel at the power of the mighty Eiffel Tower, knowing there it will remain evermore? Climbing up to the sky over 90 stories high.
How many stories?
90.
How many yesterday?
90.
And tomorrow?
90.
It's a bore.
But don't let this conversation fool you.
It's bloody charming.
I really, really enjoyed it. I would recommend it to anybody. I thought the songs were amazing.
I was kind of thinking, like I said before, there's kind of a triptych of... That's probably not the right word, but there's 3 musicals coming up. And a lot of the songs from West Side Story, you know the songs from West Side Story.
Yeah, I mean, I know West Side Story.
Even if you haven't seen West Side Story, you know the songs from it. And it's the same with My Fair Lady to an extent. With this one, the only one that I kind of knew was Thank Heaven for Little Girls, the little pederasty song.
The film opens with an old man talking about being a man and having to find women to love, and then this like 5 or 6 year old girl walks past, and he's like, oh, he starts singing a song like Thank Heavens for Little Girls. How they've got eyes, like wide innocent eyes, and they'll
make you go through the ceiling.
Yeah, it's it wouldn't be in a film nowadays.
Completely innocent at the time, I'm sure, but in this culture, you
like I said when we were watching it, the song itself isn't necessarily creepy. It's that he's talking about finding a woman to settle down and marry with, and then this girl walks past and he sings it that makes it creepy.
But I suppose the kind of thing is with that character as well, as he says later on that he's not interested in love anymore because he's an old man who just wants to sit in the shade and eat cheese, which is a lovely outlook on life.
Yeah.
So it's not kind of that he wants to bang kids.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Someday, each and every one of them will either be married or unmarried. How adorable they are. Each time I see a little girl of 5 or 6 or 7, I can't resist a joyous urge to smile and say thank heaven for little girls. For little girls get bigger every day. Thank heaven for little girls. They grow up in the most delightful way. Those little eyes so helpless and appealing, one day will flash and send you crashing through the ceiling.
My favourite song by far was right at the beginning. Gigi is just like confused by like the person that people are telling her she's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And she just sort of goes on this, I don't understand the Parisians.
Go on, sing it, Barry.
And I don't understand the Parisians.
Ugh.
And she's like stomping around Paris, and she looks at like landmarks and stuff, and she's just like, and then
there was
keeps on. It's cute. It's so adorable. I loved it.
There was something it reminded me of, like it's in my head, like a connection that I haven't quite made, but it reminds me of something.
I keep thinking of I want to be a producer.
No, it's not that for me, but yeah, it's kind of a similar kind of tune.
I don't understand the Parisians making love every time they get the chance. I don't understand the Parisians wasting every lovely night on romance.
I know what it makes you think of, sorry, the Vinnie Pook song.
I'm so glad you've mentioned that, because I can cut to it. Yeah. Russian Winnie the Pooh is amazing.
Vinnie Pook.
Если я чешу в затылке, не беда. В голове моей опилки, да. Но хотят там и опилки, но кричалки и вопилки, а также шумелки, пыхтелки и сопелки сочиняю я неплохо иногда. Да.
I don't understand the Parisians.
We're going to talk about the acting then?
Yes, because I wanted to mention Leslie Caron, the woman who plays Gigi, is also the woman who played the Toothy girl in An American in Paris, the one that we both kind of hated.
Yeah. Good dancer, we said at the time.
Yeah, she was a good dancer, and they didn't utilise that in this.
Yeah, because she seemed like she was classically trained in ballet.
And I thought they were going to, because at the beginning, she was like, but I want to be a dancer, and her grandmother was like, no, you can't do that, so I thought it was going to come up. But it didn't. But I thought she was great in this, and I have a little crush on her.
Oh, I can tell.
This one,
just
she
on
was great. Well, not at the end. At the end, she was a bore. But
yeah, just on that point, like you can't be a dancer because your mum's like a successful actor in plays. It's terrible.
They never showed the mum.
It was a motif that she sings and they close the door.
No, yeah,
it's just
but
a joke.
All the way through the film, they kept mentioning her mother, who's in the other room, and she wakes up and sings a few notes because she used to be like a singer, and I thought at the end she was going to come out and be like a giant witch. I had this thing, all of the women kept saying, like, but you're not like other girls and stuff, so I thought...
Barry's distrustful of spinsters for some reason, I'm not sure what it is.
No, I just thought that because they kept saying things like that, and like, you're not supposed to marry, I thought they were going to turn out to be witches, like a little coven.
You genuinely thought that, or you just wanted it to happen?
I thought it would have been good. I didn't genuinely think it was going to happen.
That was a terrible witch's cackle. What was her name again?
Leslie Caron.
Leslie Caron. Yeah, she was much better in this than the other one.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, because she was really young in American Paris, wasn't she?
And her
like,
face was like bloated and her
kind
teeth
of
were
weird,
really far out.
her face was too small, but
Yeah.
her features were too large.
She's the gayest girl in the world.
It's a quote. It's not just being homophobic.
Yeah.
Never. She's the gayest girl in the world.
This is one of the few films you've watched where I thought there was no genuinely bad actors in it. I think I enjoyed everyone when they were on screen. Most especially the guy who played the uncle. He always popped up to do a song, like to do a charming vocal song.
The one who likes little girls.
Yeah, thank heaven for little girls. He was fantastic throughout the entire
Thank
film.
heaven for little girls. That one.
Stop showing off.
I'm not showing off.
Right, this is my dating website.
How was I
My
showing
dating-
off?
Beautiful voice.
Oh.
Bastard.
Stop.
So you. But anyway, the uncle guy was really good, and her.
Yeah, he was good because he was like a curmudgeon.
He was so charming as well. Like he was always so happy and having like a cheeky little song.
Yeah.
And like a cheeky little word with Gaston. He was Gaston's uncle. Is that correct? Or
I kind of got
father,
confused as to what the
or...
relationship.
The familial
for everybody
relationships
was.
are a bit confusing.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't entirely sure how Gaston was not related to Gigi, obviously.
Yeah, but how he knows
family,
her, that
yeah.
wasn't ever explained. I guess it's just a social thing. He knew her.
Oh, I suppose it's got something to do because I think Aunt Elise was like back in the day. She was a social climber and she was with sultans and kings, and obviously he's a.
That was
famous
another
sugar
reason I thought she
merchant.
was a witch, is because you never see her neck.
So
her neck's always covered up, so I thought it was going to be,
Do
seven
witches-
psychopaths.
do witches have weird necks?
No, but I mean, she would have done, because like she would have been clawed by the beast or something. I just saw the witch.
They didn't do that kind of subversion back in the day, unfortunately.
No,
The genre
at some
changed
point
a
a
little
film
bit.
came along that was the first. And
Absolutely.
maybe
yeah.
that's why this one doesn't have, like, all of the Best Picture winners that we've watched so far tend to be at least a 7 on IMDb, but this is 6.8, so that could have been it.
For that 0.2%.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
That's what happens when you put witches in your mind.
Susie, do you know anything about witches?
Flop into the chair.
We need to talk about that.
Suicide, yeah. So the guy he's with at the start, like they go to this club Maxine's, and Gaston gets really annoyed because she's flirting with other people and not really paying attention to him. So he hires private investigators to investigate her. Turns out she's dating her ice skating coach. So they go and like pay him off to stop dating her.
And to
then
leave, I don't know if it's leave the
Leave
country,
Paris,
but
yeah.
leave the area.
Well, he said 1,000 francs to.
Yeah,
to
which
forget
I don't know
happened,
what the
forget
conversion rate is. 1,000 sounds like a lot, but
back
it was
in-
only a couple of coins. So they pay him off, and he ends up leaving, and she is so distraught she attempts suicide.
Or did
and
she? I wasn't sure. If
all
they,
of the-
success. Was it
No,
successful?
she attempts it because they mention it was like her 6th attempt
Yeah.
or something. But all of the characters, not just all the male characters, but all of the characters are like, "Oh, congratulations, Gaston, your first suicide."
Yeah.
Because it's the first woman that he's driven to that.
But it's not
state.
It's not even played subversively. Like,
Yeah, it's not even like a
kind of strange
parody.
thing.
Like it's just people
well
are proud
done,
of the
mate.
fact that he's caused a woman to commit suicide. So there's that and the little girl stuff. Other than that, I think most of it is quite PC. But
Gaston, my boy, congratulations. Your first suicide. Oh, what an achievement. And at your age, like everyone else in Paris, we were just talking about you.
Thank you, Honoré. I came over
May
to...
I add mine, sir?
Oh, thank you, Manuel. I came over to
It
get...
is a stunning victory.
Where is the champagne?
It's ready, sir.
I came over to get away from the telephone.
I can imagine. Any news from the corpse?
Fully recovered, according to late morning editions.
so that was our review of Gigi.
Good game.
A film that proves that if you're a terrible actress in one film, you can be a good actress in another.
Are there other films that prove that?
No, but I didn't say one of the films. I said it's a film.
Every night I bring her Frankfurt sandwiches, Frankfurt sandwiches. How my baby loves those Frankfurt sandwiches, Frankfurt sandwiches. I try to win her with candy, candy.
She likes hot dogs with mustard.